Good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Stutzman. I'm the CEO at Trusted Internet. We talk to a lot of companies about cybersecurity maturity model certification, CMMC, because it's becoming law, and you're going to have to start reporting on it no later than March 1st. The challenge is that almost every company that we talk to has no idea where to start. Look, this is acronym soup. What's an RPO? What's a C3PAO? What are the deadlines? What do you have to do to pass? What's it all going to cost? This is a huge unknown. So what I want to do is just take a couple of minutes and walk you through the way Trusted Internet thinks about CMMC and the way that we go about implementing it for our clients. So I tell everybody CMMC is like broccolini, right? Nobody likes it, but it's good for us, and now we're actually being forced to eat it, and so maybe we can make it taste just a little bit better. So who are we? Trusted Internet is a managed security service provider up in Southern New Hampshire. We are a 6-time honoree of a global list of managed security service providers called MSSP Alert. We've been in the top 250 6 years in a row. We've got clients from London to Sydney, Bogota to Toronto. We run our own 24/7 concierge monitoring and protection system. My background is, before I was an entrepreneur, former Navy intelligence officer. I was the CISO for Northrop's electronics business. I built their counter APT team. I've worked for Carnegie Mellon twice, once as a researcher, once as a principal engineer, and then they dropped me in as a director at the DoD Cybercrime Center, where I built and ran the group that you have to report into if you've got a problem. And so we know a little bit about this stuff. My senior team is equally as savvy. So right off the bat, I'd like to point out that, these guys on the left in the box, these are all very senior people. 2 of us have been the recipients of Information Security Executive Awards. My team won Program of the Year in 2007 for building out Northrop's counter APT group. And then Lou won it as the People's Choice Award winner in 2015. But over here on the left, Nate Paddock, retired Air Force, used to run the Air Force SOC. Lou Saviano, former CIO at Sylvania, worked at Textron as an engineer after that, and then became the CIO and CISO for Skillsoft. Cornell educated guy, very smart, very focused on risk. Adam John. I've known Adam for a long time. I finally got the opportunity to hire him. Adam came out of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid, where he was heavily involved in HIPAA. So he's not only a CMMC expert, he's also a HIPAA expert. Johns Hopkins Hospital, bunch of healthcare stuff, and then Center for Medicare and Medicaid. Scott Shefferman is one of the best threat minds that I've ever run across. Great thinker, knows where the threats are coming from and how we deal with them. Sajal runs our SOC. LaShawn has been with me for a couple of years. She's right out of the Navy, former Admiral's aide and information warfare officer. She runs project management for us. Matt and I have been together for a long time. He runs engineering, and Rochelle runs operations. So the idea here is, look, this is a very senior team, and we want to be able to come in with a senior team, not mess around, be efficient, be effective, get it done for you, get you up to speed, and get you certified as quickly as possible. So why Trusted Internet? Well, we are a Cyber AB registered provider organization for 3 years. We're a top 250 MSSP. We're most of the way through our own audit preparedness. Most of our guys have DIB-related backgrounds or government-related backgrounds, and of course, they're very senior. And then the one right in the middle is we offer a $500,000 breach warranty. And if you qualify for that, through the provider of our warranty, you can buy a cyber insurance policy with no underwriting for very low prices. So $1 or $3 million policy is going to save you a ton of money. Here's how it works. So first of all, on the left, let's just talk about some of the acronym soup. RPO is a registered provider organization. Those are companies like me. We're going to come in with an architecture. We're going to put it in place. We're going to get you up and running. Maybe we write your policies and procedures. But the idea is you've got to have somebody who can help you with the security, put it in, manage it for you, and then you've got to have an auditor, and that auditor is the C3PAO, Certified Third Party Assessment Office. So the C3PAO will come in and do a pre-audit, final audit. Pre-audit gives us a punch list of what we've got to do. Final audit's done later, and then of course your security team or an outsourced team like mine. And then on the right hand side is kind of the high level, what's involved in getting this thing done, and then the RACI that goes along with how we work with your C3PAO or an MSP or an MSSP or whatever that is. Basically, you're looking at for a single location, an SMB type of a company, you're looking about 6 weeks. We can get you through level one, and then we go into there's a lot of consulting time, documentation, things like that that gets you through to level two, bring you up to that pre-audit, do the punch list, and then go forward. So here's our approach. We're going to come in and take a look at what you have. We don't want to have to rip and replace your entire security infrastructure, but we got a framework and we have a standardized architecture. So if you're starting out from fairly new, the idea is that we'll walk in with our architecture. We put FortiGate firewalls in place. We have some endpoints that we use. We'll talk about those in a minute. But we can walk in, drop it in place. We already know what we're doing. It connects to our back end. We monitor all of this stuff for you, and then we're off to the races. One of the other big questions that we always get is, do we have to go to GCC high? And the answer is no. I mean, there are providers out there like Prevail or some of the others. We recommend an enclave suite called Regdocs. And so Regdocs has got this thing set up. Think about it as CMMC ready SharePoint, except you don't have to buy it for the entire company. You can negotiate it down to a minimum, I think, of 5 people. So if you've got 30 people, but only 5 of them are handling government data, CUI, then use Regdocs as your enclave for CMMC. Don't be thinking about USB sticks and all that kind of stuff. Those get lost, and that's even worse. But you can put it all in one place. The email is built into this. They've gone through the FedRAMP stuff. Very clean, CMMC ready. Nice way to go. On the internal side of the company, you still have to communicate back and forth, right? We use the FortiGate firewalls, but we use FortiClient for antivirus and VPN. We use Minerva's Armor for anti-ransomware. We might deploy Sophos Intercept X for your iOS or your Droid, or I like Sophos for the Mac. But this gives you a lot of your SI controls that we need to get knocked out right away for level one. We'll set up the VPNs. So FortiClient will integrate with two-factor authentication so that you'll have all of those access controls in place. And we want to know that if you're working from home, you'll have whatever access you need. So we set up a nice WireGuard process for your phones or for whatever if you're not necessarily working on CUI, but then we have the one that's embedded with two-factor authentication to give you access to all of those other things. And we use Cisco Duo for two-factor authentication. We protect your email. Here's a big one. Why do we put the firewall in? Because we can make sure to protect your physical security systems and your IoT. So if you've got IoT or SCADA or industrial controllers or whatever, we want to be able to subnet off a piece of the firewall, make sure all of that stuff is behind it, because those are just little embedded computers in your camera systems or whatever it is, and they need to be protected too. In fact, this is one of the big benefits of the way that we do it is you can go out and buy MSSP services from an EDR provider, CrowdStrike, SentinelOne, and they're great products, right? But they work only on the things where you load them on, and you can't load them into a camera or an industrial control or an IoT device. So we want to make sure that that stuff is communicating through a firewall. It's all audited and it's all secured. We also offer a managed KnowBe4. KnowBe4 is one of the best products that I've seen on the market for doing training and fish tests and all that kind of stuff. It can be difficult to manage, so that we just do that for you. We use NinjaOne for your compliance. We monitor everything ourselves. And then one of the big advantages of working with Trusted Internet is you'll have as a corporate client, you'll get a private encrypted Slack channel with direct access to my 24/7 security operations center. So if you're working and you have something pop up on your screen, you can just ask the SOC, hey, did you see that? Is that something I should be concerned with? And they'll answer you immediately. And we go into documentation. So, we like to be able to walk in with a tool. We use a tool called Synomi, so that we can bring everything into one location. But what you're looking at is my audit of Trusted Internet. This is where we currently stand. So we've been working hard to prepare ourselves for the C3PAO, and this is where we score. Now, when we come in to see you, we're going to run through this thing right up front, and we're going to get a dashboard like this that's going to show your risk score on a scale of 1 to 10. And of course, you could see we mapped ourselves against 800, 171 for CMMC level 2, but we get the spider chart. We get the open tasks prioritized by criticality, and we just start working through that. At the same time, this becomes your living document for tracking the work that you need to get done to get to CMMC level 1 or 2, whichever you want. And you can print these things off into nice reports. But everything is tracked in one location. The nice thing too is a lot of these tools are out there, and we like Synomi. There are others, but oftentimes they generate your policies on the fly as you're going through the assessment process. So you don't have to go and pay a consultant to do that again for you. Once that's finished for level 1, we only have a few procedures that we have to write, but we bring those back into Synomi so that everything is there. Your policies, your procedures, and your evidence and your scoring are all in one location. This is really pretty cool when it comes to doing an audit. If you need to do reporting, right, we get this all the time. Client will call us and say, Jeff, I need a report on where we stand. I can dump out a PDF in 30 seconds that shows exactly where you stand. And then I can dump out a spreadsheet that goes control by control that you can just go line by line and put them into your SPURS portal so that you'll be good on the supplier performance risk scoring as well. What does all this cost? Well, look, level 1 is where a lot of the security stuff goes in place, a lot of the basic blocking and tackling. So for a 15 to 20 person company, maybe you're looking at $3,000 to $4,000 a month, maybe a little bit more if we want to do a deeper dive assessment. There will be some consulting time, but it's minimal for level 1. Going through to level 2, of course, that the consulting time really is going to add up there because there's a lot of documentation. You go from having to do 17 things to 110 things, so the lift is much bigger. But we want to be able to get you in. So you purchase a firewall up front, we snap it in place, we put you on a monthly monitoring contract, we get you connected into our Slack, and off we go. So look, the bottom line here is that, NIST is actually a pretty good document for good cyber hygiene, right? It doesn't have to be hard. But look, you guys make widgets. I do security. I can't make widgets. So, and you're probably not the best at doing security. So just, bring somebody in to do this for you. And our approach again is, look, it doesn't have to be hard, but you have to do it right. And we need to do it efficiently. So we come in with a plan, with a Gantt chart. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom. We're a small company, but all of us have large enterprise experience and we warranty the work. And then we've got a partner who's a C3PAO who doesn't get involved in helping us install your security, but they know how we work. And they're looking at charging sub $10,000 audits for small instances of doing CMMC audits. So look, if you have any questions, reach out, right? Stay safe online at trustedinternet.io. Jay Stutzman, that's my contact information. And we'd be happy to walk you through the entire process. Thank you very much.